That's pretty cool. I know how to spell it too.
I know how to
I-T.
spell your name.
Hey, now. You learned that a long time ago, didn't you?
She learned how to sign it too, right?
I know.
Sign it?
She's gonna learn how to sign it too.
Oh, I
She's
know.
gonna start forging.
That's easy, it's trademark.
I gotta do it for all of you.
Okay.
Show them.
Well, tonight we're not gonna have a ton of people. It's been a long day, so it will be tailored to you guys.
That'd be quiet. I gotta jump from.
Okay.
How many people were black?
I don't know.
Because they want to be hot. Hot.
You know that cemetery that's just down the hill, just over the hill this way, on Redwood Road? Go Redwood Road towards your house. There's a cemetery on your right. Do you know why I can't be buried there? I'm not dead yet.
So we can take care of that.
Yeah.
Why do?
Are you doing,
Women go
Dustin, are you doing the
where-
presentation? Dustin's doing it.
Alright,
I am.
Okay, all right.
alright. Why do women go for like?
I like it.
They want to be cool.
Oh.
You can grab my computer, I'll be right back.
Let's see if anyone's on yet. So is I tripping over cords? Nope, nobody's on yet. We gotta figure out how to, at first we'd have like 13, 15 people online now, and it's been now a little bit. For whatever reason. Is Selena coming tonight?
But she was down here with a bunch of her guests, and she got a call from the hospital because her granddaughter. So she's running to the hospital real quick.
Okay.
Okay. So wait, tell me again, how many kids?
3.
3 kids. You have any more?
Oh, no, I hope not. No,
What are their
my
names?
Baby's 12.
Your baby's 12?
Baby's 12 and the oldest graduates here at the end of the month.
Wow. This is my oldest, so I've got, I didn't get started until I was 30. I sucked with girls. I was really shy.
You were not.
You were my cousin. I could talk to you, I knew what to say. But everyone else, I couldn't talk. Oops, pull that out. That's too quiet. And then Mark Warner, too, you know that.
I had seen that, but I'm not sure.
He just lives up north of here by,
Hey,
Not
Dad,
far
can
from
you tell
Lagoon.
me your password
what?
for your computer?
Why?
So,
She might need it later tonight.
yes. Is it the same as your Amazon Prime account?
I need to use my phone.
I think so. Andy Larson,
Who's Andy Larson?
the Larsons lived up there.
It's a whole.
I don't remember the Larsons very much.
They were in the second ward.
Okay.
Anyways, he lived like 3 houses down from me in, when we lived in West Valley about a decade ago.
Mm-hmm.
And he works for Smith's as their corporate pilot. And Carson, my younger brother,
I remember Carson.
Carson flies with him every week. So they go fly. So, and then you remember Wayne Duplin. Okay.
I didn't know a lot of people in the second ward.
So
I remember John Lee.
Yes,
He's in Florida.
he is. He's a fireman. He's very. So my sister married Wayne.
Uh-huh. Okay.
So again, we still have the connection there.
No, there will be.
I'm trying to think of who else I bumped into.
From Alaska. Do you remember Bruce Oakley? Okay, he was in one of the wars, but he committed suicide and died.
Can you show your notes?
And then the Winchills, Kelly Winchill.
Yep.
I think she's still up there.
Okay.
And now, this is my cousin. Michelle?
Rachel.
Rachel.
I'm
She's
totally
good.
kidding. That was kind of funny though,
So-
because she believed me. For sure.
So, and he works in here. Jason works with a Strongbrook too, and I met him a couple years ago when they got married, but then he started getting real sick. So this is Dustin. He was I was 8 years old to 10 or 12 in Alaska, and he was
Hey, I
Junior high.
junior high.
Yeah, so
Dustin moved around a lot when we moved little.
we probably moved just as much, if not more. So if you add up how many schools you went to growing up, I went to more schools than there are grades to go to. So I went to 14 different schools and
Wow. So I didn't move that many times.
Yeah.
I moved about half that much. To Alaska, Colorado, Idaho. And I'm back here, so.
yeah, fortunately Facebook helps keep in touch on those things. But
And,
last I knew, you guys moved to Colorado.
and a lot of our friends aren't on Facebook.
No, there's Eric Caldwell.
He's on Facebook.
He's on Facebook, very active. He's correct.
I think Facebook's becoming less and less.
I've had more and more.
Have you?
Yeah.
We started kind of going away, like it's kind of funny, but they're predicting it's gonna start going lower. Hoping they're wrong.
And doing what? You guys want water?
I don't know.
You don't know?
I think Instagram is
I've
a
heard
little bit-
Google is supposed to kind of be the new one.
Yeah, Google Plus always adopted it quickly.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
that's what they're really targeting, like especially like the blogging conferences, they're really targeting Google Plus. Funny?
I haven't done anything with Google Plus.
I have an account and I have like 2 friends
Mhm.
that occasionally do something.
I think Facebook's still killing it.
Yeah.
But-
Where the money is.
I've done ads on there too.
Facebook,
On Facebook.
good.
So, yeah, grab a water. Do you guys want water?
No, okay.
Do you want water, Sierra?
No. She's a little busy.
She's a little busy. We'll go through this.
She's playing the games with the 4-year-old.
She is. She got addicted. My wife wanted her to have a cell phone, so because there's a girl about a mile from us. Her name is Sierra Newbold. She got killed a couple years ago from it. 6 years old, and one of the neighbors took her, raped her, killed her. So since then, Virginia's been.
It is the best electronic umbilical cord we ever had.
You know what, it's so worth it.
It's worth $10 a month because I know exactly where they're at.
Mm-hmm.
And someday you'll have teenage daughters and if they ever don't check in,
Oh, she's never gonna turn to a teenager.
it's great because you can just show up at their friend's house and go, "Bah, bah, 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 bah." Madison, can you come out now?
Yes, exactly. That's what you gotta do.
So we just had a guy in yesterday who does a lot of product development, and he brought in a T-shirt that has a sensor on it that will detect if your kid has a fever, and then it gives you the GPS coordinates of them. I'm not crazy.
Well, it's, your Fitbits or whatever device is tracking your
You're
heart
never
rate,
gonna see
your
that on
activity,
TV.
your steps. Yeah, your kid's really nervous about something, you should check on them.
We took ours. My youngest is 1.5 years, and we took her to the hospital last week, the week before, something like that. And but life is fun. We're enjoying it. I don't see you on Facebook a lot,
No, I
or her.
Me?
Yeah,
I know, it's,
you stopping time.
I'm an Instagrammer. I prefer Instagram way over Facebook.
I haven't got on Instagram
You know
yet.
what? The only
got an
reason I
account.
like Instagram is because I don't have to read all the stupid comments people post. And Instagram, it's just pictures.
and it's a little bit more private. privacy settings.
Yeah. So I'm an Instagrammer all the way. You can find me on Instagram, I'm on that.
I mean, the wildest people. We had a really cool lady in here yesterday that's working for us now. She was a meth dealer. I love meth houses. We make a lot of money on those. So, but we'll get started on this, and then we'll talk later, catch up, because I have like another hour or two that I need to talk to you, but we'll have to sit down, chew on that, and I always like to find out what everyone's doing, and it's cool that we're all here in Utah now.
It is a little,
But we're like haven't ever got together, never done anything. I figure it's your fault
I think it probably is.
because you should have called Mark, me. What about Trask here? Do you remember him at all?
I do remember Trask.
He's not on Facebook though.
He is not on Facebook, and his dad owned some property in Payson, next to the Payson Golf Course. And I saw Trask's dad, I saw Joe, we probably been 5 years ago, when he stopped by my parents' house, so.
Now your parents live down here too?
They're in Payson,
Jason?
well, sorry, they're in Adam on down.
Are they on a mission? That's what my parents are doing now.
Is their house sell?
Yep, sold.
Dad, should I do the thing?
Yeah, she's gonna introduce me.
Okay.
Okay, go for it.
So what do I say again?
His name is Dustin, and that he has 3 kids, and he's crazy.
They have lots of snakes.
My dad's gonna be up here. He's gonna do.
Speak loud.
No.
So they can hear you. See, this is my dad, Dustin. He's gonna teach you on real estate.
Okay. This is my dad, Dustin, and he's gonna teach me real estate.
Good job, way to be brave.
Okay, well, as you know, my name's Dustin. You all know me, but I don't think you've heard my story before, have you? Some of it in real estate, and I know you haven't. So I was born at a really young age. Grew up in Utah, Alaska, Colorado, Idaho, and most of you guys know that. And then when I went on a mission to France. Now, did you go on a mission?
Yeah.
Where'd you go?
South,
South?
Mississippi.
Mississippi.
Mississippi, Louisiana, Arkansas, and Texas.
Okay, that's where my brother-in-law just got that from. He was there. Was he there during Katrina? Tracy,
There during Katrina.
you were?
Brother-in-law's name is,
I don't know if it was. It's Samuel Taylor, but he's like 20 years younger than us. So he just got back 2 years ago. So it wasn't
sorry,
training.
I'm thinking Andrew. Andrew.
Soon after.
You're right, yep.
So I went to so from Alaska I went to Colorado. I moved to Idaho, went on a mission, came back, went to school and was going into, and I was with Mark Warner up there. That's my other friend, and you guys haven't met him. He and his dad own a fish camp up in Alaska. So you can go up there and go fishing for a week. Have you been back there much?
We took the family back for the first time. Went back after high school a couple times, and I took the family back up last year. We took a couple weeks over.
So we got to still go back. I haven't been there for about 20 years, 15 years.
Okay.
And then I went to school.
Not much has changed since.
Not much has changed. And then I went to Utah State, and then I came down here. I graduated, went to Rick's, and I couldn't still figure out what I wanted to do. Any of you guys ever have that problem? Did you change your jobs a couple times?
I still don't want to do grow up, so.
You still know what you want to be? And it keeps changing. And my parents were praying. They're like, Dustin, we don't know what you're going to do, but we've got a revelation that is something. And that will happen soon. So I got into real estate because I met some guys that made a lot of money. And I'll get that into a second. But what's the best investment on earth? And I'll need participation because there's few of you guys. Okay? And I put a lot of hints on. So it's earth. I've got 3 kids. I've been doing real estate for 15 years. I spent over $200,000 on courses. Okay? I've purchased hundreds of homes. I've got 15, 20 properties now and 34 doors that we own that we rent. I've lost everything 2 to 3 times in real estate. You guys know anyone that's lost anything in real estate? Okay. So I kept trying to figure out how to help other people in real estate, because what happens when you start making money in real estate? What other people ask you? How do you get in? And after 10 years, I was like, I have no idea. So but I'll get that to in a minute. But who else? Like if Donald Trump and Warren Buffett were here, what would they probably tell you? They like real estate. Warren Buffett 2 years ago said, if I could, I'd load up on as many single family homes as I could. Guess how many homes he's bought in the last 4 years? Over 100,000. And so right now, real estate, I mean, have you guys ever thought about getting into real estate? You have, because you obviously have. And have you ever bought any courses or done anything in real estate? You've thought about it though.
Absolutely.
What's kept you from getting into it?
Capital.
Capital? Okay. My last 300 houses, I didn't use any of my money on 290 of them. So there's ways to do it. It's not the capital, it's the knowledge of how to do it, right? Because if you do it wrong, you can lose a lot of money. And we'll get into that. But a lot of times people are like afraid to get into real estate, and it's the ship that you're waiting to come in for may very well be the ship that you need to build. Oops, that's the wrong button. Now, can you lose money in real estate?
Yeah.
Yes, a lot of money. Can you use money in real estate?
No.
No. This is my business partner, Booker Hatch. He's a firefighter. We've gone on a lot of cool trips. We've done a lot of real estate. We've made some money. We've lost some money. We're now starting over and redoing it again because things happen in life. Anyone ever have life hit you in the face? Okay. You're like, no, I've never had that.
Oh, that's fine.
So the goals for the next 3 hours. Okay. Is I'm going to show you how to get into your first house in the next 1 to 12 months, no matter what your time, job, credit, or financial situation now is. You're gonna know how to have an additional 5 homes free and clear in the next 8 to 10 years or less, and how to get into real estate without buying courses or managing properties. Because how many of you would like to manage properties? Okay. Is that a pain in the butt? Okay. I just had one property that I'm renting out, and the tenant died. I mean, how rude. Okay, so it's a tough situation, but I'm a softie. I have a hard time kicking people out. Okay, and if you have someone else manage it
So
for
I
you,
hope you did kick her out eventually.
well, it's the husband and the wife, and the wife went to the hospital. I went to put a 3-day notice of eviction on their place because they missed a payment, and found out that they were in the hospital for the past several days, and he had lost his job. And then the day later, when he came in to meet with me, he said, "My wife died." And I'm like, that sucks. But it's tough. So, and how to get into real estate from $16,000, $8,000, $599 or for free. Because does it cost to get into real estate? It can, yeah. And I spent a ton of money on it, but can you also get into it for free or less, or have someone show you how to do it? Say yes.
Yes.
Because we're going to show you that tonight. And in as little as 20 minutes a week, while having fun, freeing up time, letting go of stress, and living your dreams. Because isn't that what you guys want to do anyways? Yeah.
You know what I do.
And this is Dustin.
Another Dustin.
Yes.
Everywhere.
I grew up with him in Alaska for a couple of years.
Oh, okay. Fishing boats, that's all.
So, well, it was just my neighbor and a ward.
Yeah, I actually lived in his parents' house for a month.
Oh.
So he did take his boa with him, fortunately.
Now I have, you've seen my snakes on Facebook, haven't you?
I love him.
You know, so I've got a cobra,
Yeah, I
a
had
great
a lot.
mamba.
I can't do.
They're so cute.
Oh.
Except my mamba bit
I
me
need
one
to
time.
probably come over and play, but I cannot stand them.
He doesn't hold them anymore.
I do. I took the cobra and mamba out a couple months ago. We'll show pictures afterwards. Where was I at? Okay, Amway. So what we're doing tonight, just kidding. You guys don't laugh. I do any friends. So a lot of opportunity is missed by most people because it's dressed in overalls and work looks like work. A lot of people think they can get into real estate and it's real easy, and they get into it and it's a lot harder than they think you can, unless you have someone to help you into it. So if you're going to get into real estate today and you guys didn't know what you knew, and you know what you know, what's the best way to get into real estate?
Find someone who knows.
Okay? Any other ideas?
Jump in.
Jump in and ask. So out of 1,000 people who try that, after 10 years, there's about 5 that are left. You're going to say something like that, right? How come?
Yeah, you're either gonna lose money, it's too hard to manage,
Mhm.
too hard to manage cash flow.
So if we could show you guys how to do that, and you already know that because you're in it too, but your wife first time seeing it. If you could learn how to do this, and we're online too, without taking much time away from your life, doing what you're doing, and we could show you how to get into it, would that make life easier? Say yes. Okay, good. So how many of you could use extra money in your life?
Uh-huh.
Okay. How about extra time for family, friends, and loved ones? Say yes. Okay. How about extra 10 vacations a year?
That would be me.
That'd be you? Okay. I like vacationing. How many of you guys want to go on vacation with us? Okay. Where would you like to go?
Where's our next trip's planned?
Mm-hmm.
So we're going to Europe next year and Southern Caribbean.
Awesome. Yes.
Well, where do you want to go? Pick somewhere good.
Mexico.
Which part of Mexico?
Again.
Again, pick somewhere good. Come on, like Italy
The all
or.
inclusive that we go to.
Yeah. So we get that. We took her twice. She got to ride on the dolphins and the
That's pretty fun.
sea lions, and
The dolphins don't like me. They won't come and push me.
they won't push you.
No, there's too much mold in my knees.
Is there?
Yeah, so they come up and they'll like come and push me and they'll swim away. I pushed my wife and the kids.
I did not know that.
Yeah.
That is a good story. So you've all done the survey. You remember that one you took here online. It's really, why do people want to get in real estate? What's keeping you from doing it? Would you like to do it more? And if you can meet people that did it, would that make sense? So why real estate? Why does it make sense to you? What intrigued you the first time about it, or what made you think about it?
It's one of the few opportunities that scale.
That's what?
It's gonna scale. You can
Yeah.
invest a little bit and, you even $100,000 home appreciating 5% is going to appreciate a lot more if you go small on capital.
Yeah.
And scale.
And that's what he likes.
Because that's what he likes, okay? So I put a couple reasons down. It can scale. If you had a bar of gold, 100 ounces, what's that worth? 120,000, 130,000, okay? And you buy a house the same, and within 30 years, it's gonna happen to both of them. Probably go up, okay, based on the past. So if we went back 30 years, took gold in the house, same thing went up, but what does the house pay you every month? Rent. What were you gonna say? Money, okay? So, but it's also generational. How many of you guys wish your parents would have taught you how to do this and I did it right? I wish my parents would have done that. So a lot of us say this, I would like to be out here in Bora Bora, but we're too, is he taking you to Bora Bora yet?
We're working on it. I think that's next week.
Okay, good. But before I show you how this works, let me tell you what happened to me. Is I saw one of those late night commercials, and I was like, wow, you can get into real estate, you can make money. And I was like, you can make residual money. I would like my money to work for me. How would you guys like to have your money work for you? Okay, because you're like, yeah, huh? And
She's going, this is great, Dad.
going,
How many
"This is
houses do I
great."
get when I go to college?
and I've met guys that have kids that are 12 and 5 years old that have houses. So if you could have your parents teach you that,
One yet?
are you saving for it? Yeah.
No. Just tell your dad that you need one. And just keep
Yeah.
reminding him every
Dad,
day.
give me a house.
If he's a smart dad, he'll force her to buy her own.
Yeah. So we're gonna work on your credit next, and then we're gonna work on your age. So
Tell him you have a great partner though.
No,
Great partner.
we'll teach you how to do that. Where was that? Okay, my story. So I saw it. Someone got into it, and then I was up at Logan, Utah State, and I met a guy there. His name's Deloy Hansen. You ever heard of him? I know you have, but maybe you haven't. He had a big house up in Logan. He had a full-size swimming pool in his basement and a full-size racquetball court and a gym and a tennis court and basketball court. And what do you do when you meet people that make money?
Yes, we do.
And so I said, what do you do? And one of my friends was nannying for him. It's actually Mark Warner's wife. Okay, she was nannying for him. And he says, well, at age 18, I got into real estate. And I started buying houses. I bought a duplex, which paid for, I lived on one side, rented the other side out, and I was able to go to college that way. And then I just kept doing that. And, 20, 30 years later, he owns hundreds and thousands of properties. He's the owner of Salt Lake Real. You've heard of that, right? Okay. And he also owns the Wells Fargo building downtown. And I was like, well, how did you do it? And he was like, well, you just, get 5 or 6 banks together. You get each one to do $20, $30 million each. You put up a couple bonds, you create this and that, and that's how you do it. And I was like, it's like, that's a little bit over my head. So the best ways to get into real estate is to have someone that's a family or friend or someone that does it right, that will help you do it for you. Like you said, get a mentor or get someone that's done it before. Is that what you said?
Yeah, exactly.
Exactly. Okay. But how hard is it to find someone that will do that?
It wasn't.
No, you got him.
But I called you.
You called me, okay? When I tried to do it, no one wanted to teach me. They were like, you know what? I don't want to create any more competition. And it costs a lot of money. So I went to the next best thing is I started buying seminars. I bought one, and I bought another one, and then I bought 8 houses. And within 2 years, lost all 8 of them in foreclosure. Because I didn't know how to manage property managers. I didn't know how to do a lot of stuff in real estate. And I realized it's a lot more work than you thought it is. And after having 1 or 2 people die and having one of the 20 unit burned down, I forgot to tell you about that one. We lost that to foreclosure, and the guy took it back. It was a hard money lender, and within a week it burned down. And so don't know if
Good for him.
He got his money back.
He was smart.
he was smart. So I bought more and more courses, and I bought hundreds of courses. And every course you go to, guess what they say? Another course, and they upgrade you, and they say that all the different things. And I just spent a ton of money at it, and I started making money in real estate. And I started wanting to help people do it. And after 10 years, I was like, I don't know how to get into real estate because most of the people I try to teach don't do it, right? And so it was pretty tough. So how many of you would like to spend thousands to hundreds of thousands of dollars and thousands of hours going to seminars learning how to do real estate without even buying a house? So
The majority of people.
a majority of people. And I met so many people that did that. And I was like, how do you help someone? Because right now, and we'll go over this, I mean, if you guys had to stop working now, how long could you go without having to go to work again? As your retirement says. So most people's are 95%.
Security, it's concerning.
Okay. And that's what we're banking on. So I bought more courses, bought more houses, lost it again in 2008, and buy them again the last 2 years. I don't know if you told you that, but my wife had some mental problems with a baby, had bipolar and bad postpartum and some medical issues. And so I was dealing with a lot of stress, a lot of things, and it slowed down a little bit. So I pushed the wrong button again. So I was trying to figure out how to do it, and we were starting to work it again, and we were starting to get a system up, and then life hit me in the face. But then I met a guy, and I'll tell you about him in a minute. So, but once you know real estate and you know how to buy a house and you can do it once, do you, like a bird up sitting on a branch, if the tree falls over, do you care? No, why? Because you can do it again, right? I had to file bankruptcy because in 2008 I lost almost everything again. And I had a guy come to my house with a badge on and said, I'm here to take pictures of everything you own and sell it in the next 2 weeks. How would that feel? Say it sucks. So, but at the same time, I was still doing real estate, okay? But let me ask you guys, what is financial freedom?
The ability to do the things that I would like to do without weighing over all of the pros and cons, right? Yeah.
Okay, does that sound right?
30K a month.
30K a month? So imagine that you're making 10, 20, 30K a month. How would that feel? What would you do different in your life?
On vacation.
More vacations? You probably still work where you work. And where do you work again? You told
Travel
me.
and investments.
I've got a couple.
You got a couple? Okay,
So I work for Larry Smith.
okay, gotcha. You travel,
I would do more
investments.
investments. I do different types too.
Mhm. But you'd be able to choose what you want to do. Like he said, when you want to do it and what you want to do. Financial freedom is income that you've made that keeps working for you. And it's when your residual income is greater than your expenses. You no longer have to work. And it's called rich on any income. Anyone can be rich on any income right now. There's a secret to it. It's called spend less than you make. So a lot of people don't know that though. It's a secret, don't tell anyone, okay? So,
There's a Saturday Night Live video on that.
I got some of it recorded somewhere. And it was funny as heck. They're like, wait, but what if there's something I really want to buy and I don't have the money for it? Should I still buy it? You saw that one too?
I think there's one where the guy goes in and asks for a loan and he.
Oh, that's a new one, yeah.
So he goes in,
Yeah.
federal government goes in and asks for a loan and wait, you make $30,000 a year and you want an additional $500,000. Yeah, well, I need to buy all these things.
Exactly. So a lot of people say, you know what, I'm going to enjoy a quiet evening at home mainly because I can't afford to go anywhere or do anything. Do you guys know anyone that says that? How many people are doing staycations now instead of vacations? There's a lot. So what's your number? And you kind of answered it there. How much would you need per month right now to feel financially free, to cover at least your basis and know it's going up each month? You still at 30,000?
No, right now, realistically, it would be 6,000 to 7,000.
Okay.
But within the next, I mean, it has to grow at least 5% a month.
How many kids do you have?
It doesn't matter.
No, I have 3 kids and you get ready to go to college, you get all of those things, and yeah, that number grows.
Well, no, that's what I mean. Like it's gonna grow. That's why I said you gotta start somewhere and then.
But right now,
5%.
5 to
Month.
6, you said?
I did 5, 6 to 7.
6 to 7, Sierra?
$2.
3,000. You can survive off of 3,000 a month. Her mother. They'll be sitting looking at purses. That's only a $3,000 purse. I'm like, okay. Booker.
10.
10. Go. And the coolest name in the world? Dustin.
It's probably about 10.
10,000. Okay. But we can all agree that most people can survive off of 5,000 to $10,000, right, per month, right? And anything over 10 is kind of really nice, right? So how would that feel? How many of you have other major goals and things and bucket lists that you'd like to do? A lot of people I meet have their bucket list is to create a bucket list, okay? And so what would you do? What is your dreams and goals? And almost every millionaire I've met, when they start making money, they start doing the things they want, and they start getting into philanthropy, helping others, helping their families, and do what they want, right? And would that be a different life for most people here? It would. So questions to ask yourself is, have you found the opportunity that will take care of you and your family for the rest of your life? If you're a doctor and you're making $250,000 a year, you have a bunch of assets, but you don't have any residual income. If you quit working, how long will that last you? I know.
3 years. but
I know.
that's it.
I mean, with asset value, you can set it up so reverse annuity mortgage.
And even $1 million sometimes isn't enough. I've met people that are like, if they're used to making $100,000 a year and you all of a sudden have to retire, do you have more time or less time to spend money? Yeah, more time, okay? So if you're a contractor, same thing, you don't have any residual income, but say if you're a teacher and you have 10 properties. Now I met a lady that was, she's from Mexico. She's 20 years old when she moved here 10 years ago. She cleaned houses. She started cleaning houses and saving her money. Because there's another secret, it's called save 10% of what you make. You ever heard of it? Okay, so you know a lot of people that don't know how to do that.
Most
Okay. Do it, right, exactly. But if you can do that, you're guaranteed to be financially free. They've proven it over and over and over again if you can manage your money right. And I met this girl and she said, you know what, I saved money, and after 10 years, she's now 30 years old, she has 4 houses free and clear and has $80,000 in the bank. And she's like, I'm financially free, I could quit working now and do whatever I want. And I said, well, how did you learn that? Did your parents tell you to save money? And she's like, no, my parents told me to spend all the money I can right now because you never know when you're gonna die. And because her family came from, they've had experiences like that. People died before they spent their money and saved it. So you can see where that's coming from. Does that make sense? Okay, and then I met a doctor, and they had 40 houses, free and clear. And I said, okay, that's nice. You're a doctor, you have money, right? 40 houses free and clear, that's $40,000 a month. Could you guys survive off of that? You're like,
I do okay.
you're like, I can hope so. And I said, how did you do it? Because doctors, they don't teach you that really. And she says, well, my parents were school teachers, and they knew that they weren't going to have enough money to retire with. And so they started buying houses. And by the time they retired, they had 13 houses free and clear, and they taught us to do the same thing. I was like, wow, that's cool. So if I ask anyone, would you like to be a millionaire, what would you say?
Yeah.
Most people say yes, right? Say yes.
Yes.
Okay, good. But
I
when
was more thinking billion.
millionaire, billionaires,
I'll settle with million.
you'll say yes to you. You're like, anyways. Okay. But how many people actually want to change and do that? Okay, because you have to do something different in your life, and it's a change. So,
Right, people are afraid.
But what if you didn't have to be afraid? What if you knew that no matter what you did, you'd be successful? How many more risks would you take? How many more things would you do? How many more things would people do? That would change their life. So we're trying to take people from earned income, learning how to train tide for dollars, and put it in their nest egg and turn it into residual income. Because if you stopped working today, how long could you last before you had to go back to work? 18 months to 2 years. That's right.
I'm probably at about 6.
6? Don't know. Depends on your parents. So, and there's only 4 ways to get residual income. One's through real estate, one's through owning your own business, the other's for owning other investments and intellectual property. How many of you are like amazing singers and wrote books that you're making a lot of residuals off of? Okay, well, we can teach you how to. We've got a what is it called? A personal development company that we're helping people do that now. So we got to get people out of the accumulation mindset, get them out of the retirement fear, because right now, what's your fears on retirement?
What I have is not enough.
Right, and that's for 95% of the population. And right now, I mean, in the old days when we were young, our parents and their parents grew up with knowing that they were going to have a retirement. So guess how much my dad retired with the LDS Church with the CES system?
My parents were graduated from BYU, or retired from BYU.
Okay.
It's not a big residual income. It's not, but they had no debt. They have private home. those things help, but I look at it, and it's gonna be tough.
Yeah, it's tough.
Because I'm not gonna have a retirement per se from a traditional company,
Mhm.
giving you a pension. Those companies, you would work, I'm
So what are you gonna do?
not gonna have money saved up, right? It's,
So we know what you want, but now the question is how do you do it, right?
Well,
Okay.
even pensions aren't guaranteed.
now the
Detroit Fire Department, all their firefighters just got cut back to 50% of pension, including the ones that were already on it.
and I think California's in that.
They're about saying that, yeah. And Utah's not looking that great anymore either.
Yeah, no, there's very few companies in place.
Right. Yeah, it's
You
changed.
have you have to focus on getting yourself residual income. Like, that's really what it comes down to. You can't, and even with savings, you can't rely on that, because
gotta
eventually
make
it's
your
gonna
own
run
retirement.
out.
And where do you
You
get,
have to have residual.
where can you send someone to get guaranteed residual income? That's what we're gonna talk about. Right? It's tough. There's not a lot of places and it changes. We've seen that in a heartbeat. I've seen people's 401ks turn to 101ks and special K. And they're just like, now what? So our goal, I mean, you've seen, I've seen a lot of people say this, instead of repaying my student loan, I'm gonna return my diploma. It didn't work. True? Okay? So USA Today said, most people are truly confident that they're gonna have a comfortable retirement. 60% of the workers have less than $25,000 saved for retirement. Even $1 million may not be enough, and 2/3 are relying on Social Security for 50%, and 1/3 for at least 90%. So what does that say about you guys in here?
We're paying for all that, I mean.
So if you're gonna make $5,000 a month just to survive, that's just today, because what's gonna happen in 10, 15 years from now, 20 years?
Inflation.
It's gonna go up higher than that. How much do you have to have in a bank account earning 4% guaranteed interest? And where can you get 4% guaranteed interest? Okay, so assume you did. How much do you have to have in a bank account? Okay, and how realistic is that? But what if we told you could do that with 5 properties? If you have 5 properties, free and clear, bringing you in, I don't know, $1,000 a month, $1,200 a month, does that give you the same thing? Okay, would that be easier to do? And that's what we're going to show you how to do, because if you can do that in the next 5 years, 10 years or less, okay, you can now buy a new leg. We've got people that will sell them to you.
I need 2 of them.
2 of them, okay? Okay, so to get 1.5 million is easy. All you need to do is save $1,798 per month for the next 20 years at 10.8% interest. Okay, does that sound feasible too? Okay, so do we have a problem in the world today? What's the solution? What do we got to do? When people come up,
Work more years.
work more years.
7 years.
Exactly.
That's all.
Okay. Well, it's
Work
proven.
till you die.
It's proven when you retire, you got 3 years, so just work forever. Okay, but I want to spend more time with Sierra, Savannah, Strider, flying quadcopters, finding new snakes, going on vacations. My goal is to take 100 of us a couple times a year on vacations around the world. Okay, anyone been to Israel? You been to Israel yet?
I have not been to Israel.
Israel's awesome. Okay. You can run forever at the Dead Sea. Okay, it's 600 feet below sea level. Okay, I ran up a 300-yard mountain that was like pretty steep grade. When I got to the top of it, I was not huffing and puffing. I was just like, oh, this is easy. I was like, that was weird, but was that fun? Right now, we're an experiential society. Our goal is to have more experiences, so that's what we're going to try and provide you with. This is where it came to Chris Crone, because I've been working 15 years, and after 10 years, people asked me how to get into real estate, and I was telling them to go buy more real estate courses, go do this. I try to teach them what to do, and most people wouldn't. Out of 1,000 people who want to get into real estate, 100 will actually buy a house, okay? And the rest of them won't even open the course, or they'll lose it. And out of those 100 that buy a house, guess how many are still in real estate within 5 years? 20, okay? 80% of them will get out because they hate property management, toilets, termites, and all that stuff. I mean, in the last 15 years, I've had, I guess it's 3 properties burned down, 4 people killed, 2 people shot. I've had hostage situations. I've had meth houses. I've had, fires, floods. People call me in the middle of the night. People not paying their rent. I've been threatened. I've sued. I've been sued. How fun does that sound? Okay. I had a lot of hair when I started. And it got stressful, and I even had to get on stress pills at one point. I still take them once in a while because it's still stressful, right? But that's when Chris Crone came in, and I knew him for a couple years, and his history, he looks like a young guy, right? He's started in real estate at age 23. He wanted to be a doctor. And he didn't do very well in school. He took a couple classes a couple times and realized that wasn't going to be his forte. So he started selling real estate courses. He did it for 4 years, sold it for a company down in Orem, and they sold $250 million in real estate courses. Is that pretty good? And for 4 years of doing it, he talked to thousands of people. And out of those thousands of people, less than half of them ever opened a real estate course, and less than 2% ever did anything in real estate, because it's just the anomaly people that will actually jump in and do it and stick with it, right? And he had a lot of people that said, I have $0, I have hundreds of thousands or millions, but how do I use it? How do I do it right? And it didn't work. So he got upset about that. And he said, I'm going to go find someone to teach me how to do it. Because the number one way to do it is to find someone that's actually done it. You need mentors in your life for whatever you're going to do. If you have someone that's done it before, would that be easier? Okay, so if you didn't have a mom or family or friends that told you what's going to happen when you have a baby, would you be freaked out when all of a sudden your stomach started getting big? Yeah. So
Most people, yeah.
yeah. So if you have mentors, will that help if they've done it? But how expensive are mentors? They can cost hundreds of thousands. So he went and found 3, said, teach me how to do real estate. And they figured it out. He said, I want to get into real estate, but I want to get into real estate that has the least amount of risk. Who wants risk? Okay. That takes the least amount of time, because do you guys want to spend more time doing stuff you don't want to do? Least amount of effort, least amount of, I don't know. So time, risk, effort, but makes the most money, can work in an up and a down market anywhere in the United States. Does that sound pretty good? Okay, so they figured it out that it was a single family house, 3-bed, 2-bath, 2-car garage, 1,700 square feet, 10 years or newer, short-term 3 to 5 year buy and hold, and I'll give you stuff you don't have to memorize all that. Unless you want, at the end we're gonna have you repeat.
You can give me a quiz.
Quiz at the end. And he started buying houses. So at age 23, he started buying houses. By the age 26, he had 25 houses and he retired. How would you like that at age 26? How long ago was that for you?
Yeah, that was more than last week.
It's more than last week. And he figured the system out and duplicated it. Now, his goal was $10,000 per month. Okay, he says, when I get to $10,000 a month, we're going to retire. So they hit almost $13,000 and they retired. But before he got there, when he was getting to 4 to 8 to 12 properties, if you were finding your own properties, finding the right areas of town, negotiating them, trying to make sure they have the right rents, figuring out how to buy them, getting the hard money loans on it, figuring out how to get them remodeled, and then how to put tenants in it, and then to manage the tenants and go do the whole thing again. How much time do you think that takes? It was, and he was spending 40, 60, 80 hours a week doing it, and I was doing the same thing. And I was spending less time with my family, but my whole goal with real estate was spend more time with family, with residual income. But each one of those processes is like a full PhD of learning how to do it, because you have to learn which streets are the good streets, how to evaluate properties, and that's pain. Okay, so he said, okay, I'm a system guy, because he aced statistics, numbers, and he was able to figure out what's going on in the market. He says, let's systematize this. So he fired everyone that he was working with and rehired him again under his own company, created his own company that had all those people in it. He now has like 200 people in it, but his own group, that's all they do is they find out where these perfect houses are. Then another group that just figures out financing, another group that figures out how to buy them, how to get them financed, and then how to remodel them and repair them and have them and know when to sell them. And so when he started doing that, within a couple years, it was starting to go like a system, and he didn't have to work anymore, and it was doing it. Would that be nice? Say yes.
Yes.
Okay. So at that point, he systematized it, and the next year, after age 26, 27, he had about 50 homes. The next year after that was 100. He's 34 now, and he's done over 500. So would he be a good guy to learn from? Say yes again.
Yeah.
You're like, I've said yes 10 times.
No, I've met him. I've actually been to his house.
Mm-hmm. So she's been there too.
I've been in the toy room, that's where I got you know? He has the coolest toy room. Check it out upstairs.
I did.
Upstairs.
I did.
So He was making money. When he started making money, if you're making an extra 10, 20,000 per month, what would your family and friends ask you? How? And
Help.
can we borrow some money? Okay. And that's what happened is all of a sudden he started getting a ton of people calling him. But when at 25 he retired, or at 26 he retired, he took a year off. He went vacationing, bought the house, did all the fun stuff. Then after a year, his wife was like, you're home a lot. What do you want to do for your life? And he's like, well, what do you mean? I've done it. We bought the house. We've got the stuff. But he started trying to figure out his why in life. What's your why in life?
For now, my kids.
Your kids, right? What's your why?
Same.
Yeah. Right now it's kids, family. It's personal development, helping others. And he's like, you know what? I want to help others do it. And he started having hundreds of people call him. And they were like, how did you do it, Chris? Can you write a book? Can you do a course? Can you sell us something? And he was like, you know what? I've seen those systems. They don't work. I'm not going to teach you. Because if I write a course and sell it to you for $5, $10, $20,000 and you don't buy a house, are you going to be mad? Okay. What about 100,000 like I did? Okay. Matter? But like 200,000. So he's like, I'm not going to do that. But finally he had someone, after a year, he said, you know what? I want to try and do something. And his friend came up and said, help me get into real estate. And he's like, you know, Duncan, I don't trust you. You're not going to do it. The biggest problem with getting into real estate is you're human and you stink. and most humans do it wrong, right? So he says, let me throw you at my system and see how that works. Within 2 years, his friend had 25 houses. Is that pretty good? Did he have something that worked? Okay.
Who's his friend?
Huh?
Who's his friend?
Duncan. It was his piano tuner.
Okay.
So I
I
haven't.
was just curious if he was with Strong.
Yeah, I don't know.
It doesn't sound familiar from the one that met.
So he created Strongbrick. He's done over 2,000. Is he getting closer to 3,000? 3,000 houses now in this system where they haven't lost any to foreclosure. Now, when they first started, they were doing bulk sales and they lost some money on some stuff and they learned how to do it right. Okay, but they started figuring it out. They even had the SEC come and audit them. So he wrote a book. Anyone heard of Brian Tracy? You heard of Brian Tracy? Zig Ziglar? Okay, so Brian Tracy's kind of like a Zig Ziglar. They work together, motivational. And so we have a lot of people saying, you know, this is one of the best books. My cousin downstairs, Josh, he does real estate. He's like, can I borrow that book? And he borrowed one of his other ones and he wouldn't return it to me. He says, that's a good book. So Strongbrick created 3 pillars to help people do this on the side without changing what they're doing. We help people get business ownership, facilitate real estate, and personal development. Because what we found out is after people started making money in real estate, and as we were coaching them into real estate, that most of our coaches were becoming life coaches because a lot of people have personal problems. Okay, and when they start making money, they don't know how to use it right and spend it. So almost every person I met has made an extra $10, $20, $30, $40,000 per month. If they've never saved 10%, they're poor each month. I've met a lady here that was making 80 grand a month and she moved from like 5 grand a month to 80 grand and she's poor every month. Okay, I mean, I want to slap her. Okay, it doesn't make sense. So what we did here, are you in this picture?
Yeah.
Where are you at?
Yeah, right, to the left. Right one more. Right there.
There he is. So what we've done is Strongbrick created a team that provides powerful residual income through facilitated real estate investments, business ownership, and personal development. It's the first of its kind. We've got 200 licensed professionals. We assist their clients to build investments, wealth portfolio, and we've done hundreds of millions of real estate nationwide. Now, it's not for everybody, and our goal isn't here is to say, hey, come and join us right here. Now, we just want you to think of a way, how can you get better in your life? Where can you make the next step with? They figured out how to do it in up and down markets. We've paid people over $5 million in commissions during the last couple of years. Is that pretty good? Okay. We have a culture committed to personal development, and that's one of the coolest things I've seen because I've gone through a lot of the personal development they've had lately, and I've met some of the top people in the world that I've met before that were really, really good. And in 2010, anyone heard of the SEC? Okay, they came in and audited them. Someone filed 90 complaints against them, and they couldn't find anything to shut them down. And that was one of my questions. If you get audited by the SEC, out of 10 companies that get audited, how many of them are going to get shut down, even if they're in the right?
I would guess half.
Yeah, actually it's 90%. Because even if you're in the right, it takes them 6 months minimum. They spent a year and they spent 14 months auditing them. And if you're getting audited, how many people want to do business with you? Few. So they got through with it. They made it through, and they're like, wow. He said, you've got a system here. And so Stromberg created a system. And what they do is they figure out how to find it so that you don't have to spend the hundreds of hours trying to find it. They buy the property, because do you want to figure out how to find hard money and how to find all those people? Do you have time to do that? Okay. They fix it up. How many of you guys are really good contractors? Okay. Bookers, he can fix it up. Okay. So you don't have to figure out how to fix it up or cut off 4 fingers. I've had 2 friends cut off 4 fingers in the last 5 years. One is a cousin, Brandon. Okay. And the other one was your brother. Or your cousin. Yep. I mean, can you play the piano very well without 4 fingers? You can't even play with 10. We figure out how to get it financed for you. We lease it for you, because how many of you guys know how to find good tenants? No. We manage it, because how many of you are good property managers? No. We maintain it, and we tell you when to sell it. Is that a pretty good system? How much are you doing in there?
Nothing.
You guys own how many properties now?
2.
2 properties. How much time per year do you spend working on them?
I don't. I don't do anything but spend,
So tell us your experience with it. How did you get your 2 properties real quick so you can explain that?
So when I first found out about Stromberg, I didn't think I had the money to get a first investment, but they give you a game plan. We sit down and review your finances and options for purchasing real estate. So they helped me see that by accessing some equity in my house, I could get my first investment property. So we did a second mortgage, got out enough money to buy a house down in Florida. And then a couple months ago, we actually found a partner who couldn't qualify to buy a home on his own. So we are his credit partner. It's his capital, and we bought a second home.
The story I like to say is I got this cousin. He didn't know a ton about real estate. He went to a short seminar on it. They figured out how to get him his first house.
No, you went to the job.
He
I
tried out
found him
there,
a job.
found him a job.
I actually sent in his resume to Stromberg.
He got into real estate. He still doesn't know a ton about how to find the houses, but he gets a check each month. Is that pretty nice? Now, I had another lady that was here that just joined our team, and she applied to work at Stromberg too, but she couldn't pass the drug test.
So you have to know people there. Tyler Bennett and my aunt are really good friends.
Good friends.
Yeah.
So Stromberg hires from within. Let's get through this, okay? How do we make our money, and what do we charge people? Is that fair questions to ask? Okay. Is when we get you into a house, our first job is we're not going to let you get into anything yet unless we do a free game plan with you, because we want to know where you're at, what your finances are, what your credit is, what your next step is. We want to take you step by step. We're not just going to say give us 20,000, 10,000, 8,000, 500, whatever, without knowing that you're going to work it. Because if you came in and bought something and you get a house, my name would be tarnished. Okay, and Dustin is a good name. Okay, and you know that. Okay, we got another Dustin down here. You're not really. I could change it tomorrow. $50, you can go downtown and we can do fluffy polar bear. $1 million then, and a lot of people did. And Utah got hit hard, but who else got hit hard? Do you remember? California, Vegas, Arizona, and Florida, and Michigan. Who didn't get hit? Memphis and Indianapolis and Riverton, Wyoming.
Yeah.
Okay, and the reason is it's all done by supply and demand and by what industries are there. So every 20 years we have a bubble on average. Every 20 years we have a dip. And back here, that's 2008. What happened in 1929? We had a Great Depression. And guess who bought a bunch of properties back then and became the first billionaire? Rockefeller. So guess who just bought 100,000 properties here? I told you, Warren Buffett. So these properties here, remember that perfect house that I was telling you about, 3-bed, 2-bath, everything? and 10 years and newer, they were costing about $200,000 to build right here, and they were selling for up to $300,000 at the top of the market. If you were a builder, how many would you build? Many as you can, right? And then it crashed, and they were selling for 60, 70, 80,000. How come you didn't buy any? You're getting knee, and you're
You were
getting knee
claiming
surgery.
bankruptcy.
That's claiming bankruptcy. That's like, so Chris Krohn wrote a book. He says, you know what? It doesn't matter what the market's doing, wherever you're at. Our goal is, first of all, to figure out how to get you into your first house, and then double it and double it. When we get you to your first house, we'll find a market that's down here, wherever it's at, and we make sure it works. We go in and we buy in bulk. Like in Arizona, they bought 500 houses 1 year-ish. They bought all the same carpet, the same paint, the same tile, so they could repair it for half the price. They could get it repaired quicker. When they bought the houses, they have a lot of people that brought them houses because they know that they could close. They would get 500 houses going to auction that know by the next morning which of those houses fit our scenario, that are in the right neighborhoods, that are in that have the right income, and fit 100 of our different points. Because if we buy a house, it has to work. Because if we get you into one house, our scenario is to turn it to two within a year to 3 years. Because if it's in a really good market like this, we get you into property, we'll tell you here's a good time to refinance it, turn it to 2, refinance again, turn it to 4, turn it to 8, up here, here we rent, here we lease, and start looking to sell it. And then we find a different market, whether it's up in Memphis, Indianapolis, and we turn it to 16 and then to 25, and that can take 5 years. And a really, really good market if you do it right, okay? On an average market, it can take 8 to 10 to 12 years or longer. It just depends on what your goal is. But if you had 25 properties in your name, how much does it cost to buy an investment property? How much do you have to put down?
20%.
20%, right? You heard that? Okay. So if you have 25 properties, 20% down, what's 28% of 25? It's 5. So you could sell them all, have 5 houses free and clear within the next 5 to 10 to 12 years, paying you $7,000 to $10,000 in cash. Does that sound good? Okay. We're going to show you how to get it quicker. Because how did you like it quicker? You're like, I want it quicker. I need 30,000. I need to take my cool
I need my Range Rover.
cousin Dustin on more trips.
Oh, Range Rover. Oh.
Okay.
Like
So-
a little dream car. I don't know why. It always has been.
He's like
Fourth
that.
edition. Has to be $150,000.
Of course, more good the better.
Right.
All right. We'll talk later. I've got to get home soon. Just kidding.
Go right ahead. I'm already,
You're already in it.
yeah.
You're like, I'm already okay. So basically, we figured out the system and how to do it over and over and over and over again without taking a lot of people's time. Memphis and Indianapolis, they had different markets. They, like in Memphis, they've got FedEx that goes out of there. Okay. Yep, it's a distribution center. It's the number 1 and number 2. It switches with the busiest airport in the world with Hong Kong. And the reason is because they got Amazon. They got Amazon there. They also have Nike and they also have Apple because of the distribution. They got some of the biggest truck lines going through there. They've got the biggest railroad lines going through there, and the Mississippi. So it's got the 4 R's: road, river, rail, and
It's okay.
whatever it is. So Memphis, Indianapolis, they stayed about the same. We can get houses for $75,000 to $90,000 to $100,000 that bring in $300 to $500 a month after all expenses. Okay, and we got houses in Orlando, Phoenix, and Vegas. Now Phoenix and Vegas are going slower now, but Orlando is still doing good. That is still going up. So we find the best places to buy. We coordinate everything. We manage the property managers so that you can spend the money, save the money, and do it. Like Phoenix, we spent almost 400 hours or more going in and figuring out which places we can buy them in that are the best areas, that have the new houses, that have the best rents, and which streets are the right ones. So we spend a lot of time so that you don't have to. So our goal is we just, that's not you.
No, the guy in the chair, his name's Kurt.
Kurt. This is Kurt.
He's a coach.
He's a coach. And their job is to figure out where you're at, figure out how to get your first property, get your game plan, educate you on growth and income markets, figure out how to get leverage assets, whether it's your own, someone else's, or whatnot, bring you deals, get the finances, and then you make the decisions. They're 100% your properties. In reality, all we want you to do is stay calm, do real estate, make money. Okay. The first goal is to figure out how to get you your first property and double it every couple of years. Found a mammal that's done this really good, and we're trying to copy it. Every time someone on my team buys a house, I get a letter that says, "Hey, congratulations! This is Brandon Sharp on my team. One of his friends, Arthur, that joined, bought a house. It says, great job. Thinks I'm getting it." And we're like, well, that's cool. They bring you houses like this in Indianapolis. It's like $90,000. Come in with $25,000. You're making $379 a month. In 5 years, you got a 65% return. Is that pretty good? Okay. Are you going to get that in a bank? Okay. And how much work is he going to have to do on that? Nothing, right?
You do have to communicate once in a while with the property managers.
Right, because they will bring you and they'll tell you, here's someone that wants to rent it, here's their qualifications.
No, we
Do
had
you like
a
it?
HOA complaint that we had to deal with them, and our property manager was awesome. Like, we sent them
Okay.
a letter and they went and said, go clean your yard.
There you go. And then we turn 1 into 2, 2 into 4, and we just multiply it till we hit whatever you're wanting to do. Some people just want a couple, some want growth properties that gain in equity, some want cash flow properties that just cash flow really good. Here's another one that someone else in my group just bought this last week. They put $25,000 into it. He's getting $380 a month off of it. This guy was nervous. Now, I'm kind of anal and I don't like a lot of risk. Anyone else know anyone else like that? Like that? Okay, Tracy, you like that too? And first time I heard Strongbrook, Chris Crone came to me and he said, and as on Facebook, he said, Dustin, talked to you 5 years ago, but we figured the system out. 5 years ago, I could only help people with money, credit, and a job. Right now, I figured out a system to help anyone, no matter where they're at, with whether they have money, credit, and a job. And we've helped hundreds of them buy a couple thousand houses. And I've got people making $5, $10, $20, and now $50,000 to $90,000 per month doing this. And I'm like, okay, tell me about it. I've seen a lot of companies promise that stuff and go to jail for it. Okay, so I started interrogating it, and I started talking to people. I started going to a couple of their meetings, and I talked to over 30 people. I took their names, phone numbers, their testimonials down, their email addresses, and I was trying to find a what?
What the scheme was.
What
and
the
what's wrong.
scheme was and what's wrong. And guess what I didn't find? Now, I did find a couple things. I found one person, when they bought a house, 3 months later, the furnace went out. Okay, that wasn't very big. Another one, it took them 2 months to get their house rented. The two things that I found, I had one guy that I was trying to get in. He's like, Dustin, run from that company. I was like, why? Because my brother went and invested with them and lost $50,000. So I said, okay, give me his name and number, because what do I want to do?
Find out.
I want to find out. So I called his brother and I said, hey, I heard you lost $50,000. And he goes, well, I didn't quite lose it. And so I was like, okay, tell me the story. He goes, well, about, I don't know how many years ago, 7, 8, 9 years ago when they were starting, I invested in their group that was buying bulk properties when they were trying to figure the thing out. And they did a PPM and I invested $25,000. And they showed me worst case scenario, best case scenario, and I should have $50,000 back now, and I don't. I said, okay, so are they paying you monthly? He goes, yeah, they're paying me monthly. I said, okay. So what's the problem? He goes, well, I thought I'd have it sooner. He said, well, it's still within your contract. He goes, yeah, it is. He said, I guess they're okay, but I wanted $50,000. So that's what I found on the worst so far. But I talked to a lot of people. I've talked to a 20-year-old in South Jordan now. She bought her first house, moved to a second one, and now has a third one. And I've got another guy named Gary Norris that was one of my friends. He spent a lot of money with Nouveau Riche. Did you ever hear of Nouveau Riche? It's companies like Rich Dad Poor Dad. They tell you how to learn how to get into real estate. And it was 20 grand he spent into it, and he lost 300,000 grand. Okay, and within 4 years of working with Strongbrook, he's made over $500,000. And so I knew he'd tell me the truth. You were in it, and I knew you would tell me the truth. I was pretty sure you'd tell me the truth. Okay, I met a couple other guys. Another friend, he was 20 years old. He's got 2 properties. I've got Nathan that joined my team. He's got 9. I've got people that don't have any money or credit, and they've got 2 to 3 to 4 properties. And they got their names, their numbers, and you can call every single one of them. But this guy that bought this house, he called every single one of them. and he said, I spent most of my time talking to them than anything else just to make sure it said what it was. And he was still nervous up to the day he bought it. He's like, you know what? It worked. So we can help you get into real estate. We know the numbers. We figured it out. These are our last 1,000 deals we did. How much it cost, how many hours we saved you, how long it takes to get it filled once we bought it or working on repairing it, average square foot. $62 a square foot. Is that pretty good?
Yeah.
That's pretty good. Okay. Average return on investment, 20%. Is that pretty good? Okay. So our job is just to make it easy, coach you how to do it, save you on taxes, oversee the property manager so you don't have to, manage the portfolio, use a variety of financial tools to help you out. Your role is just to get educated, making the decisions, expect bumps in the road, and expect us to be there for you. Okay? We help protect you from things. We figured out how to do it once, and once we do it once, what do we do again? Again and again and again. Now, if we get you in a property and you're not making any money on it, are you going to buy a second property? Okay, so our company has to work, right? If it doesn't work, what happens? Okay, you don't come back. Okay, that would make sense. And that's what I interrogated all these guys for, because we make 5% when you buy a property. When we get properties, we give you all the discounts. A lot of times when you get a property, you get equity into it. Okay, if it's a growth property, sometimes you won't, but everyone I talked to on this list said that they got all their money back within their first year or two of what they, I mean, more than what they put into it. And they're like, you know what? So where was I going with that?
The next part.
Next part is, these are all the people I talked to. You got it. Huh? His name's on the top of the list because I know he'll talk to someone if they call him. Right? I'll give you that list. We got to get people to residual income. We can bridge the gap. We've done hundreds of millions and transacted thousands of clients. Oh, I know what I was getting at. When you buy a house, we're going to make about 5%. We make some of that from the commission, some of from the other things. We have fees for that. But if you buy a $100,000 house and we make 5%, is that a lot of money that we're making? No. In fact, we're almost losing money on the first house. And if we help you get 2 more houses, we're going to make 5% on the third house or second house and third house. Now we just tripled what we were doing, right? 1, 2, 3. And then when we get you into 4 more houses, we just did it 4 more times. So
The
at
5% of the monthly residual income?
no, 5% of the cost of the house one time, because the house is 100% yours. When we usually buy a house, you got 3% agent commissions and all that other stuff.
3% salary, 3% buyer commission.
Yeah. So
it's really a 2% cost.
yeah, and we're already buying it lower and saving you, and I'll cover that in a second, because one of my questions was, why would you do that? And they said, well, I'll tell you that. We're getting there, okay? But basically, the more you make, if we help you make $1 million, we're going to make about $50,000 to $80,000. Is that fair? Okay. And if you're not making money, you're not going to do any more, right? Exactly. So it has to work. So this is the technical part. I'll go through this a little bit quick, and if you want more, we'll sit down and talk more on it later. When it first started, people had to have cash, credit, and a job. And when I first met Chris, we could only work with people like that. And out of 100 people, guess how many people had? 20. Yeah. You know, like 10% of people could do that. That had $20,000, $30,000, $40,000 to buy a house, right? And so we advertised through radio, television, and internet, and we were spending anywhere from $40,000 to $100,000. And I talked to some of the guys that were charging them those fees. They said, yeah, we charge them those fees. And we were doing it, and it cost about $5,000 to get one person in. Okay, so the second way we make money is when you join and start working with us, you get a free game plan, because we want to know if it's going to work for you or not, right? And you want to know before you make a decision. And we pair you up with someone that says, okay, where you at financially, credit-wise, this, what are your goals? And they try to figure things out. If you've already got a portfolio of properties, here's how we can manage it around. But if you had cash and credit, the second way Strongbrick makes money is they charge per house. So on top of it. So if you wanted one house, we'd charge you $5,500, okay? And everyone that I talked to said, you know, when we bought our first house, we usually made that within our first year back or second year, or we got enough equity into it. But most people don't want one. They want how many? More, right?
Yeah.
If you got 4 instead of 5,000 a house, it's 2,000 a house, so 8,000 total. But most people want to access to unlimited. And so that was $16,000. How much are you going to pay to go to a real estate course anyways right now? You're going to pay at least that, I'll guarantee you. My second question was, is Strongbrick's not going to let you buy one of these unless you're going to be able to buy a house within the next couple months, okay? They don't want to say, come in and spend 16 grand, and that's all you have, and maybe in 10 years you can buy a house. Would that make sense? No. So my other question was when I talked to these guys is, why would you spend 16 grand? I'm an investor. I can buy a house with that right now. Yeah. Now I couldn't have before. I spent 200 grand to get to there, right? And they told me the things that I was telling you is they didn't have to spend a lot of time on it, right? You just had to figure out your system, figure out how to get your first house, and Strongbrook took care of everything else. A lot of them had, that I talked to here, had more equity in their house, and a lot of them gained it within their first year. So like I said, we spent money to get people and costing $5,000 per person. We're still not making a ton of money. But we notice that when someone gets in and buys houses, they buy about 1 to 2 houses their first year. And we found out, if you're making money, are you going to tell people about it? You are, okay? And so people just do what they do naturally. When you go to a good movie or a good restaurant, what do you tell people? Okay? But does the restaurant pay you? No, it doesn't, okay? So these guys started saying, hey, if I refer you more people, could you send us some? They're like, no, we can't do that. Because we'd have to deal with the SEC and all that stuff. So the first couple of years, they wouldn't do it. But they created a partnering program. Named Chris's, hold on, it's my wife. Hello? You can use the restroom real quick? Yeah. Okay. It's either in my bowl at the office, or in my bowl in my room, or it's on the wall in the kitchen on a magnet. Yeah. Bye. My wife locked herself out, or my tenants locked themselves out.
I know how to kick a door in. It's called donkey kick. You come backwards, get a brace, kick.
So is that $50 or what they charge for the button?
Or you take 2 pieces of wood.
Although I tried it on one door, the house was on fire. It took me 7 minutes to get through that stupid door. It was a magnet door. So it was like, I hit the door and the whole wall would bend with the door. So the door didn't actually like bust out. And I went running and jammed my shoulder into it, the whole wall would bend. And,
Did you ever use the board that has the hinge that you just push down into it?
well, we have jet rams.
The ram. Okay. I always wanted to try that. I never
It
tried
will
it.
work, because that's why we use the rams. You just gotta push because you push right where the bolt, dead bolt there is you're at. Less likely to break it, but that's not as fun.
Keep looking at it and say, Dad,
We're,
wrap it up.
we're up how good.
Dad, go up so I can get.
Dad, wrap up.
We're gonna wrap it up here. We'll let him come back out. You can see it.
Are you still running your race?
We should have pizza next week.
So are you gonna help me with
Oh,
this?
yeah.
We will. I
Can
am.
help you with this
Let's do pizza next week.
after?
Yeah.
I'll talk to you and look. I have 2 questions for you after.
We'll get all the college students to come and just eat our pizza.
I got so many freaky people. Okay, let's get through this.
We used to get lots of people.
This is going too long. I want to be playing and having fun.
Yeah.
Go, go, go.
You got-
Okay, so the next thing we did is his goal, Chris Crone, was he was like, how to help everyone else, 80% of other people. Because you guys know people that don't have money, credit, or a job, or that would like to get into real estate that could benefit them. Okay, you could. So he created a partnering program. And his partnering program was for the other 80%. When he started it, he found out that it got people into real estate 10 times quicker than if they tried on their own, and with about a 95% or higher success rate is what I've seen. Because if you start a business of your own, out of 100 businesses that start, within 2 to 5 years, how many of them are out of business? A lot, right? But if you have a system like a McDonald's, and you're going through the McDonald's school, they're telling you where to buy your place, how to do it, how to do that stuff. Within 5 to 10 years to 20 years, what's the chances it's still going to be around? How come? It's a systemized, right? Do you have to have people that speak very good English that work for you to make it work? No. Do they have to be college graduates? No. Do they have to be very smart? Okay, but it will still work because it's a system. So that's what Chris says. He says the number one problem people have in real estate is them. So let's get rid of the people and let's just do a system. So this system, we have 3 ways to get people in that don't have money, credit, or job. We can get you in for $499 once, $99 a month. $99 once, $19 a month are free. Does that fit in most people's plan?
Mhm.
Somewhere it does, right? And if you don't have $499 right now, is there something wrong in your life? There is. If you don't have $99 now, there's something majorly wrong. You've got to do something different. I don't care whether it's Strongbrook or not, but you've got to change something in your life. And you either got to work harder, get off your butt, or, I don't know, rob a bank. Okay, just
Yeah,
had
that'll improve your life.
Anthony's son just did that.
What?
Anthony's son just did that. He robbed a bank down here. Anthony
Silva?
Silva, yeah. Some gel. So, so
No good lawyer.
most people get in at the $4.99, even if they've got all that money there. So they'll do a free game plan. They'll get it at $4.99 because have you guys spent worse things on $4.99? Okay, stupider things. But with the $4.99, what it does, it's just once. The next month you pay $99 a month. You get coaches, you get CDs, you get things that help train you figure out how to get your first house, and you can start partnering now because you may have money or credit, and we'll partner you with someone else that has the opposite. We'll get 2 or 3 of us together, 10 of us, and we'll be able to buy more houses. That's how we can do 10 times quicker. Even if you did have credit in a job, how many houses can you get on your credit?
4,
4. And if you've had them for 2 years, you can get up to
8,
10.
10.
And it depends on the lenders
But
because
you have to
they
have-
change.
Don't you have to have a certain amount of money in your bank?
You have to have more down, more bank account, higher interest rate, all that sort of stuff. So guess what all these guys do over here that when they buy properties? They start joint venturing with you guys. We help you with the credit repair. We get you joint venture. We have house with a plan. So some people only have a couple $1,000s, and we're going to be doing our first one here this next week or 2 is we'll get 10 people together that have $3,000. Okay, that's how much? 30,000. That's enough to buy a house, at least, right? Because a lot of those are 25,000. If you have $3,000 in it, and we get a house that's bringing in $400 a month, because the average is between 300 to 500, 450. So $400 a month, $3,000. You're going to be getting $20 to $50 for the rest of your life. Is the money that you put in it still yours? It is. And is it still growing? It is. And if the market changes, do we tell you when to sell it? We do. So here's where I liked what Chris said. He said, you know what, my friend, Nothing. He said, my friend bought a boat. Do you like boating? Do you like boating? Okay. And Chris came and said, that's a nice boat you bought. I wish I had like 40 or 60 grand to buy that boat. His friend says, hey, you don't get it. I didn't buy a boat. I took the money that I was going to buy a boat, bought a house, the mortgage, the rents pay for the mortgage and for my boat. My money pays for my toys. So when we do a house with a plan, how would you like to have your cell phone paid for the rest of your life, or your car paid for the rest of your life to get the car you want, or your vacations? And every year, guess what? It goes up, right? And then we double and triple it. So we work to get your first owner-occupied property. Half the people we work with don't have their first owner-occupied property. And if you want to buy and move to another one, we'll help you do that, because we know how to do it right, so you can start getting equity to get into the rental properties. Sometimes the people that have cash, I've got like 100 people on the team now, and the last several months we've had about 100 people join, and about 10 to 20% have cash, and half of those have credit, but the other ones don't have jobs or credit because they're retired. Can you get a loan very easily if you don't have job or credit? Nope. So you can come in and you can buy a $90,000 house and turn it to 2 houses to 4 to 8 to 16 within 5 years, right? Or you could joint venture with someone and get 3 houses that turn to 6 to 12 to 24 to 48. Does that make more sense? So one of these guys on here, Matt King, has 35 properties, only 4 in his name. So we figured a way to really help people get there. So what if you don't have any money, job, or credit? What do?
You pray.
You pray. You have to work harder.
I hear the lotto pays out really well.
The lottery pays out really well, and what's the
You still have to have money to get that though.
Still have to have money to get that.
Tax.
Yeah,
Get your other friends to come join.
we haven't got there.
You asked. I do.
True. No, that's true. But
I can get a second job.
but what happened is, do you know? Yeah, you either have to work harder, work smarter, or do something else. I'll show you another option here too. Is, do you guys know anyone that could use an extra $5,000 or 5 houses for Enclair? Who do you know? Everyone, right? Okay, give me a first name of someone. Tracy. Say you know Tracy. And you go up to Tracy. Tracy's whining about life. He says, I need more money. I need more time. I need this or that. Or I'd like to get into real estate, but not sure how. Or whatever it is. Some people I just say, hey, take a survey in real estate investing. I've got hundreds of names I still haven't got to that want me to get back to. You sent yours in a long time ago. And I was like, I got to get back with them. And I got too many other things that came up. And then you finally texted me again and said, let's talk. I feel like your stupid survey. It's been like 3 years. Can you tell me something about it? Lucas says, wrap it up. We got to go. So you refer us, Tracy. we figure out, we don't know how Tracy's gonna get in, so we work with him and we get him in one way or another, whether it takes a year, a month, or whatnot. We get him in when he buys his first property. We know that the last couple thousand people or 1,000 houses that were sold, most everyone upgrades, okay? Because it just makes sense, right? And he buys his first rental property. We're gonna pay $3,000 because we figure it's your fault. Is that okay? Okay, that's enough to get into a house with a plan. If you refer to 10 people, what could happen? It's enough for down payment, right? Okay. What if we know that Tracy, 90% of the people that buy houses refer people. So if Tracy comes in and buys 2 houses, he's going to refer people. We'll give him the $3,000, but we still figure it's your fault. So we'll give you $1,000. If he refers 5, we'll pay you 5. If those 5 refer 5, we'll pay 25, and that goes 7 levels deep. It turns into network marketing, which is what Chris Crone hated, didn't want to do at all. And so he created it around the real estate agents, how they did it. And since he's done this, I haven't had hardly anyone get mad. Because are we selling something that's consumable that they don't want? Okay. Does it take time out of their life? How much time do you spend at it? Not much, right? So you can spend a little, you can spend a lot. It's your choice. Now, I don't care if you refer a person. I want you to get into real estate one way or another because you can retire in it, right? Okay. If you work with us, we can get you there within 5 to 10 years. If you joint venture, we can cut 4 years off of that. If you work with us on the referring people, we can cut that down to 2 to 3 years. Now, I hate talking to people. You were always the outgoing social one when I was young, and I was really shy. I don't know if you remember that or not. You do. And I was really shy. But I can now talk to a ton of people, and they ask me questions. I don't have to try to force them into it. If you refer people that buy houses, when whoever you referred buys 100 or 75 houses, we're going to pay you another $35,000. Does that sound good? Okay. Last, if you know any real estate agents, we'll pay them an extra, on average, $500 to $1,300 per deal that they bring us. So how many agents do you know out there? You guys know any agents? Okay. And agents, do they ever get someone that comes to them and says, I want to get into real estate and buy a house or rental properties, but you go to qualify them and they can't qualify? Do you think that happens? Okay. What do most agents do with those people? Yeah, kick them to the curb. What if the agent, say you're an agent, referred it to us, we figured out how to get them into real estate, and when they got into real estate, we sent them back to you to get their first property as an agent. Would that be nice? That would be awfully nice. Now, and I got to add 2 more things in here real quick. The other thing we do is we know people stink at saving money. So if you've paid $499.99 a month in a year, does that add up? Okay, most people don't like residual payments, right? So what we'll do is whenever you're ready to buy one of these programs here, whatever you've spent here, we'll take 100% of it in the same point value and apply it to whichever one of those you get. Because now you're saving for yourself, right? And it's forcing you to do it. And we ask you to save an extra $100 to $300 a month. And now we'll go back to the real estate agent. So we'll take them, get them into real estate, and you'll help them get their first house. And when they buy a rental property, you'll make another $3,000. And then when they buy their first house, you'll get about another $1,000. When they buy 2 more, you'll get 2 more thousand, 4 more thousand, 8, 16, and you'll get 34,000 total. Guess what you get when they sell the properties? You get the same amount back. So you get up to 65,000. So that's a lot of information, right? Okay. So to sum up with it is we just need to wake up a lot of people and say, you've got to do something different in your life. You're not going to achieve wealth working a 9-to-5 job. How many millionaires do you know that work a 9-to-5 job? 0? Okay, I know a couple of them, but most of them are basketball players and football players, right?
And they don't work a 9-to-5 job.
And they don't work a 9-to-5 job, okay?
They're bankrupt.
So here's what most people do is they join our $499 plan, $99 a month. It's not a contract. You can quit anytime, okay? We don't want to force people to do something they don't want to do. Our goal is to make money when you make money. Does that sound fair? Okay, so our goal is to help you become financially free. We teach you all this stuff. If your credit's bad and all that stuff, we'll teach you how to get it out. We have 3 ways to get into real estate. We don't let you get into here until you're ready to buy a house. This one helps saving to get up there. It's almost like a payment plan. You can work with this and referring people. This guy right here is the one that's made $500,000, and he didn't do very good at talking to people at first. Our group has grown quite a bit. We place people underneath each other. We joint venture. We work together. I've gotten 4 additional deals in real estate here locally. I've got 4 or 5 people that have money that joint venture with me on other deals, and we're starting to buy deals together. So in reality, what did I just create? My own money source, because your question was I don't have money, right? But what if you had a bunch of people that did? Okay. So Referral, okay, let me go past that. So question, would you like more vacations, more time with the family, friends, more money, less stress, a bucket list? So if you felt this was a chance to take control of your life, do you think you could find a way to do it? Most people will say yes, right? Because otherwise, we said we need to get into the personal development program, okay? Is there anything that would get in your way from starting today? Definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over again, expecting different results. We do have a 90-day guaranteed think about it program, okay? I've done this a year, and the people that didn't get into it a year ago are still where they're at, okay? What's gonna happen to you guys if you don't do anything different between now and next year? Okay, and is that what you want? Yeah, you have to be determined. So, a lot of people say, I wish I had instead of I'm glad I did. Are you the doer or the thinker? We have a lot of mentors that are getting on our mentor team. We can go that over another time. Les Brown is one of the most famous speakers. He charges $50,000 to $100,000 to $200,000 to give a speech. He's joined our network of mentoring. I got to meet him. It was fun to talk to him. I got to meet Roger Salem and Tal Falcone. There's no way I was born just to pay bills and die. Testimonials. Well, quick, Booker, why'd you get into it?
Because I wanted to help my family for the most part. I mean, I can do it, but they just don't ever be able to find real estate and do it. They just want to put their money into something and walk away with a check.
Mm-hmm.
My dad lost $300,000 investing with a guy that way. And if he could just put it into this, he would already be about $900,000 above what he is right now.
And 2020 vision is great if we could go back in time. Okay, I'll give you all my money if you can help me do that. Back in time. Why'd you get into it? I know you got the job there, but did it make sense once you started seeing it?
Yeah. You know, just having residual income. You know, a lot of people think, well, how much do I need in the bank to retire? Is it $1 million? Is it $2 million? Is it $4 million? But when you turn it over to residual income, it seems much more feasible. You know, I only need $5,000, $6,000, $8,000 to essentially retire.
Yeah. So it's a life change, and I think I would love to help a lot of people do this. I've got 100 people on my team. We're going to be up to 1,000, and everyone that I work with, and even if they don't join us to Strongbrick, I want everyone to be able to go to Alaska and fish at Warner's camp place. So we are growing quick. We're going globally. June, we're going to go on to Canada, UK, Malaysia, Singapore, Australia, New Zealand. We're going to be in 156 countries here soon. And Brazil, because we're starting to do the mentoring and the real estate. And it's growing that fast. We're having tons of people joining the mentoring program, which are now bringing them into the real estate. So how many of you need to change it? How many of you know you need to change something in your life to be able to have a retirement? Okay, I do. You guys are probably financially set. How many of you want to make a change in your life? Okay, the real question is, are you ready to make this change? Are you ready to do something? So, like I said, if you don't have 400, something's majorly wrong, you need to change it. How would it feel to never have to say that again? So, right now you've got enough information to say yes or no. If you say no, it's because you don't have 489 or enough information. We're going to throw a couple extra bonuses. Most people don't like to pay the $499 and $99 a month. So one way to get rid of that is if you refer 3 people, we'll waive your fees and pay you $56 a month. Does that sound fair? Okay. Does that get you a little bit more money to buy houses? 2, if you come in at $499, we're going to give you the $5,000 program for free also. That's for the next 500 people that join, and we've already had a bunch of them buy that because who wants to spend another $5,000? I don't know. Okay. And give me a list of 25 people and names and numbers. I'll do a survey with them, and if I make money, I'll pay you, or give you a restaurant card. And I'll give you 2 hours of my time to help you get started, create a personal game plan. And I'll do that anyways, but really, get your game plan, invest $499, start figuring out how you can do that. And that's it. Let's give you a big round of applause. Ready, Dave? We did talk for a little bit. We're getting it down quicker, but I talked to you guys a little bit longer. I've got some homework for you guys too.
So why is she not a challenger anymore?
I'm too old for that.
No, you're not, because I lost $200,000 last year not coming to work. That can happen to you, right? So, Jake, you guys have any questions so far? What did you like the best about it? I'm getting it down to half. I'm going to get it down to 45 minutes.
Long-winded.
I'm long-winded.
Mine's
But it's the
45 minutes.
Christensen in you, I know that.
I can get it done quicker and I've done it quicker, but what I've noticed is every time I do it quicker, most people are like, well,
There's
That
two